Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in a world that's dominated by extroverts, if you're an introvert leader, surely you're going to have extrovert employees. Now, extroverts and introverts are often driven in the workplace by differing work values. And because of this, in today's video, I want to show you how to navigate those differences if you are an introvert leader so that you could have success with your extrovert employees. If you're new here, my name is Michael and I am an education leader that is based in Los Angeles, California. And I hold my doctorate in organizational leadership. And it's through my experience both in the classroom and also at work that my goal for this channel is to provide strategies and tools for professionals to level up their management and their leadership skills. Now, in the workplace, introverts and extroverts really have two major differences. Number one is where they get their energy from, and number two is how they think. So let's explore a little bit of each of these. In general, introverts get their energy from being alone, and extroverts get their energy from being around others. So if you are an introvert boss, and you're dealing with a lot of extroverted employees, there can be a pull and tug when it comes to how you're drawing your energies. However, this doesn't mean that both of you can't be successful in the workplace. One of the first things you want to do is really start by being open about your preferred working style. So if you are an introverted employee, you want to make sure that you let your extroverted employees know that you need time for deep work. Close your door and only let them know that they can interrupt you in case of an emergency. And also, as an introverted manager, you're going to have to recognize that there is going to be a perception to overcome. You oftentimes may want to decline going to happy hour or going to lunch with individuals. And it's really important to know that you may end up being perceived as a snobby leader, even if you are very confident in the work you do. So that's why it's really important to lean in and say yes every once in a while to these functions and set aside time beforehand to recapture your energy in some solitude and alone time. That way, when you do go and engage in these activities, whether it be lunch or happy hour, like I said, you'll have the energy to do so. Now, in terms of how each group thinks, an introvert really thinks to talk versus an extrovert talks to think. So these are two very opposing differences here. And when it comes to managing extrovert employees, oftentimes when they are talking too much, an introverted boss can really be derailed in his or her thinking when there is too much talking going on. So it's really important to build systems around this to be successful. Now, as an example, if an extrovert employee comes to your office to discuss a matter, you could set boundaries in that moment. You could set a time limit on how long you want to engage in that conversation and let them know that you have deep work to move on and that you're only available for a certain period of time. Also, you want to consider the differences in meetings. Now, when an introvert talks in a meeting, they know they have formulated their full opinion on a matter because they've taken the time to think about it. On the contrary, though, in meetings, extroverts often talk a lot to get their ideas in their mind and solidified as to what they really mean. And as a result of this, introverts and extroverts can often leave meetings very confused about what are the next steps and what actually happened in the meeting. And so that's why it's really important as an introvert leader to make sure you summarize the meeting in an email so that you can make sure that you're on the same page as your extrovert employees. So based upon these two overarching ideas of how introverts and extroverts are different, what are some practical tips that you could implement as you go throughout your day and as you work with each other in the workplace? Let's share some of those now. Number one would be allowing them to share. So extroverts really like to talk and they do like a high level of praise when they're in the workplace. So it's really important for you as an introvert manager to allow them to thrive, share their ideas, and be involved in all the change and the decision making that's going on in the workplace. Number two is be firm with boundaries. Now, extroverts are very gregarious and they do, again, like to talk a lot, but often that can derail conversations. So it's really important that you as an introvert leader set boundaries when it comes to meetings, when it comes to teamwork, and make sure that you're keeping your extrovert employees on the right track. Number three is give them positive feedback frequently. Now, it's really important that you do this really for all of your employees, but extroverts really thrive on hearing verbally and also in writing how well they're doing or how they can make adjustments to what they're doing and make their performance better. This is especially true for millennial employees who've been in the workplace for quite some time now, and also for Generation Z employees who are entering the workplace just now. Now, my studies on generational differences really just looked at the millennial generation, and I could say that looking at the millennial generation, number one thing for them was make sure that they have feedback continuously. Number four is making extroverts aware of their working style. Now, when you come new to an organization, if you are an introvert leader, you really want to make sure you have those one-on-one conversations with your employees. And one of the things that you want to discuss is your work style. As an introvert employee, again, you're going to want to be more in solitude and do work individualistically and need that time to refresh alone. Whereas extroverts are going to want to continuously do teamwork. But you have to be able to make extroverts aware that too much of a good thing can be a hindrance upon your work and your interaction as supervisor and employee, but also for the work of a team in general. Number five is all about setting clear goals and expectations. Now, oftentimes extroverts could get too involved in all the talking and the extraneous activities that are going on in the workplace that they can lose sight sometimes of the overall goals and objectives that you're looking to achieve. And this is one area where introverts really thrive, especially if you're an introvert as a leader. So it's really important to set goals and objectives and priorities and making sure that you're keeping your extrovert employees on track and giving regularly updates in a reciprocal manner. And then number six is all about delegating efficiently. So there are going to be many tasks that are going to be more suited for extroverts and some tasks that you do that are going to be suited for introverts. So it's really important that you as a manager are able to decipher which type of personality would work best for the particular task that you're seeking to achieve, and then choose the employee that will be best suited for that within your team. So I think what all this really points to is all about finding balance. We need to find equilibrium regardless of the personality styles that we have and we interact with at work. So if you're an introvert leader, what are some of the strategies that you implement to manage your extrovert employees? Please share those ideas in the comments so we could all learn and grow from each other. And before I go, I have another question for you. Do you struggle with generational differences in the workplace? We talked a lot here today about introverts versus extroverts, but generational differences are a big factor within our framework of our work today. So it's really important that you know how to navigate those. So if you're interested in diving deeper into that issue, click on the link in the video description and I will send you a free PDF resource that will enable you to enact practical changes to navigate those generations. And if you want to dive deeper into this issue, check out my videos here where I discuss areas of Generation X, millennials, and also baby boomers to help you navigate those varying generations in the workplace. And of course, I would love it if you would subscribe. And also, if you're an introvert, make sure you check out my other video here where I show you how to navigate some strategies in order to provide value in the workplace. That's all for this week. I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.